All good things must come to an end. I wrote this down right before hearing Aaron Goldsmith say the exact same thing on the Mariners broadcast. Mets 7, Mariners 1. The 8-game win streak comes to an end on Wednesday in the matinee finale. Welcome to the Dom Skeen channel, your one-stop shop for the Mariners storylines on Seattle's minds. And George Kirby wasn't terrible today. The underlying numbers were actually just fine. He just had things unravel for him in one bad inning. And game 63 of the year, so you got 99 left. The Mets beat the Mariners, 14 hits to 6, out hit the Mariners. Unexpected batting average 297 to 229 as well. And outscoring out 7-1. So much going on in that fourth inning. Dan Wilson coming out upset about Johnny Peralta getting called out because he calls time twice. There was a lot going on for a Wednesday day game. George Kirby, the final line. 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 5 runs total. Allowing one in the 5th inning after getting out of the 4th too, which takes him out of the game. And the 9 hits on 89 pitches, 6 hard hits. 5 strikeouts to 1 walk, but you're facing so many batters, allowing all these hits that even 5 strikeouts in 4 innings isn't quite as much as it looks like. That bumps his ERA up over 4 for the year, which is pretty surprising. I was like, I think he's having a pretty good year. And Freddy Peralta does outduel him because he just doesn't have that one bad inning. Both teams score in the first, but once you get to the 4th, the Mets put up this 4 spot with, I believe, 2 outs as well. So going back there, it was, all the traffic, starting with A.J. Ewing. A.J. Ewing you see quite a bit from in this series. Him and Carson Bench I was in particular impressed by, and I don't think the Mets are going to be as bad as other people do because the Mets have so much money invested in this team that they're going to be buyers at the deadline again anyway. They've had their fair share of injuries that they're getting back. Their pitching's not terrible. It just feels like a team that's going to end up in October. I know they missed last year by like the narrowest of margins, a game or less. And I just find it hard to see the Mets not making the playoffs, even though they're 8 games under 500 again after their win today. But A.J. Ewing and Carson Bench are going to be big parts of that because, Carson Bench somehow, this dude was hitting like he was in the 100s at some point early on in the year. He hit the home run opening day. He struggled a little bit. He came back and during this series overall, he's 1 for 5 today with a run scored. But I see, a young kid who's got a 252 OPS, 698, or 252 average, 698 OPS. And he's super fast. And he's also a good defender. So 23 years old, you're going to hear about Carson Bench for the next 10 years. I think a lot of people are pretty familiar already. But Mariners fans who might not follow the rest of the MLB, Carson Bench is a name to remember. He's hitting at the top of the Mets lineup above Bo Bichette and Juan Soto. By the way, Bo Bichette, stats have not been great, but he's getting hot finally. He's 4 for 4 today. Doesn't get out one time, 3 RBI. And Juan Soto provides the hit when you needed it and ends up scoring a run. Luis Torrens also going 2 for 4, 2 runs scored. I know I didn't get the pregame out today. It was I was about to do it, and then I realized, I'll admit, today I didn't realize the game started at 1:10. I had, at 12:40, I had 1:10 written down. So that's why I didn't get a pregame today. Checking my magnetic schedule right here. This game was originally for 12:40. I don't know why they finally switched it. This next Wednesday day game the Mariners have is actually not till July, July 22nd, Cincinnati, 12:40. And then in August it moves back to 1:10 for a Philadelphia game on the 26th. But yeah, until the end of August, you've only got 2 more Wednesday day games at T-Mobile Park. interesting for people that go to the games at the ballpark here. Um, but overall, I mean, Johnny Peralta still getting hits. His average 275 right now, 781 OPS. One of the bigger storylines here coming up is like this next week is Cal Raleigh has gone on his he's been announced that he's going to go on a rehab assignment this upcoming weekend. It's going to begin in Everett on Sunday. He's going to play in Everett for a couple days, then he's going to go to Tacoma for a week, then they're going to reassess. Man, I might have to get up to Everett for one of these games. It's a rare opportunity to see Cal Raleigh back in some minor league ballparks. Going to be fun. But one of the tough things is that Johnny Peralta and Mitch Garver are both really valuable players on this roster. Mitch Garver's experience calling games, he's excellent with the OBS. Mitch Garver's, he's still got an elite walk rate in all of baseball. There's a lot that you like about having Mitch Garver on this team, but Johnny Peralta is emerging as one of the better hitters the Mariners have at the moment for like week to week now. Like you start to feel like, okay, this is a guy who has a 275 average. We don't have too many of those, and you're lucky to have him. You're certainly not going to get rid of him for nothing. When Cal Raleigh comes back, how are you going to find a way to carry Mitch Garver, Johnny Peralta, and Cal Raleigh on the major league roster? Because there's just no way that you can send Johnny Peralta back to Tacoma when he's hitting like this at the catcher position. And it looked to me like Luis Castillo had some great rapport with him. It seems like he's forming a rapport with the pitchers well. Johnny Peralta just might be the guy who ends up being too good to get rid of. He legitimately could hit 250 the rest of the way, which also makes it tough for Rob Refsnyder, who is still batting 114, 417 OPS. He's over 2. I have been a huge Refsnyder defender, huge fan of the contract in the offseason. And I think that he's going to normalize for sure, but at least that's what I've been saying. But like if you have Johnny Peralta, like would I rather get rid of Johnny Peralta or Rob Refsnyder right now? That's a comment question today. If you had to cut one, would you cut Refsnyder or Peralta? Because eventually when Cal gets back, it's starting to get to that point where I'm a huge Refsnyder believer, but you paid him a good amount of money to come here. I don't know how you do it, but I just don't want to get rid of Johnny Peralta, and I think you have enough guys who can play the outfield and hit right-handed. If you bring Peralta in as that DH right-handed option, Peralta just might have another gear to unlock. I know I'm talking more about individual players right now, but I feel like I haven't been able to do that. Look at this. His expected batting average is 340 right now. I mean, I know I'm not going to, just pull this up and say, look at all the red on the Baseball Savant page for a guy who has 38 at-bats, 42 plate appearances. But expected batting average 340, like, you're going to let this go somewhere. He is striking out 14.3% of the time. That is elite. I expect that will go up a little bit, because like last year he had 246 over 69 at-bats. The year before, 231 over 39. But I don't know. It doesn't completely look like he's. This is probably the biggest worrying sign of worry for Johnny Peralta. 231 XBA in 2024, 194 XBA in 2025, and a 340 XBA in 2026. How did he make that big jump? Was there a substantial improvement? Is it just a small sample size thing where the last few years were a small sample size that went poorly, and this is a small sample size going, an even smaller sample size going better? Maybe. But what you've got right now with Johnny Peralta is somebody who, like, if he were to keep doing this over, I don't know, a month or 2 months, he would become like one of the league model darlings, the way that Cole Young became that, right? With his walk rates and stuff, his strikeout rates being so low. Peralta, like, if he could not even keep this up, but keep it under 18 strikeout percentage, even under 20 strikeout percentage, keep it under 20, or even under 25 would be once he hits that cold slump. Like keep it under 25 through the trade deadline. Keep the expected batting average around 270. You ex woba in the 300 to 325 range. Up that walk rate, from 7.1% to 10%. You could just have one of the league darling hitters right here in Johnny Peralta. He's 30 years old, so he's definitely in his physical prime right now. But if you have a surplus, like somebody else would want to trade for him as a backup catcher or a right-handed bat, um, yeah, we're going to do a little breakdown of Johnny Peralta today because that's more fun than talking about the fact that George Kirby allowed it to unravel in one bad inning. But we got to talk about that, so let's go ahead and do it right now. Just get it over with. I would want to go to win probability. Then you go through this fourth inning, top of the fourth. It begins with AJ Ewing grounding out. Mariners still got a 52.7% chance to win this game. MJ Melendez then walks. You've already got one out though. Luis Torrens, our old friend Luis Torrens, comes and singles. MJ Melendez to second. Mariners win probability going down, just a little bit right there with these runners on base and in scoring position. Then Carson Benj singling loads the bases up. Benj, he's just been such a thorn in our side this series. He was like, you're not going to play him that much being on the Mets, right? You're not going to play the Mets all that much for him to be like a Mariner killer. But in this series, he absolutely was. He was just, one of his best series of the season. Surely, right? Then after you got Carson Bench loading the bases up, you got Bo Bichette up. And Bo Bichette is getting hot right now after having a really cold start to the year, but I feel like he always does that. The contact is just going crazy right now for Bo Bichette, especially like in this ballpark. He was blooping and he was just getting those pitches to fall, or those batted balls to fall. So he scores two guys, scores MJ Melendez, Luis Torrens. Then you've got 2 runs scoring, just one out in this inning. When Kirby was looking pretty good before that, he's striking guys out. He's being pretty efficient. Despite a 20 pitch inning, he rebounded with like a 9 pitch inning. Juan Soto comes up, and you get him to ground out too. But then you still, with 2 outs, you got Jared Young coming up to the plate, who's also had this great series against the Mariners. And he doubles and scores Soto, who only reaches on a fielder's choice. But is that first? Soto kind of showing that speed still. A little bit older now, not quite as steal happy as he was when he was younger, or so we thought, until he stole 37 bases last year. Hopefully he steals some more this year for the Mets' sake. And obviously for all of his fantasy owners' sake. And yeah, Jared Young was the one that really put the thorn in your side, and because of that, it goes, the Mariners' chances to win go from 27.1% to 12.9% at that point. Hovers around there for a little longer. Bizzardo allows a run in 2, they get the same part of the lineup back up at the top of the 5th that you thought was going to get up, or that got up to start the 4th inning as well. And there's this weird thing, Bizzardo challenge, Luis Torrens called out on strikes. But the real reason I think that, for the bad inning that George Kirby had, why did it unravel for George Kirby? Because it was not characteristic, and now his ERA is over 4 for the year when it looked like he was doing really well just a little bit ago. Is it something to be worried about going forward? All those things, can be answered off of what went actually wrong. And in my opinion, it's that you had some like really tough bad balls happen. This is, the right answer is not always sexy, but what happened was you had some really tough batted balls happen in the midst of all this, and then you had the top of the order come up, and Bo Bichette, Juan Soto, Carson Benj is ridiculously hot, and then Jared Young. You had former Mariner and Luis Torrens. You had a Mariner killer having a crazy series, and Jared Young, and then a rookie getting super hot in Carson Benj. I think the Mets lineup is actually pretty good, and I think what they put up here was like the type of thing that can allow George Kirby to have one of these poor innings. But I don't think it's anything to necessarily be alarmed about going forward. You look at George Kirby, 11 swinging strikes on 89 pitches, 89.98 mile an hour average exit velocity. He does get 5 whiffs on the fastball, or 5 swinging strikes, 4 swinging strikes on 21 sweepers, 2 on the 20 knuckle curves. You'd like to see a couple more, at least, one more on these 9 swings for that knuckle curve to be viable. But really, it's not terrible. 11 swing strikes and 89 pitches. That's around a 12% rate, which is still ace status. And then the average exit velocity is right under 90. So it wasn't the best, but it was bordering, like it was actually really good, like tipping the scale to good from average, from George Kirby for in the underlying numbers. The 25 pitch. So I lied. I said that he had a 9 pitch inning or something after his first 20 pitch inning. He didn't. It was 25, 17, 18, 29. So unraveled there. And then just, the second time through the order, almost up to 80 pitches. And then the top comes up again, and that was where things went wrong. And what was it? The thing with Johnny Peralta. I want to look here. Yeah, so he struck out on an automatic strike, bottom of the 4th. And this was right after the Mets had all the momentum from their 4-run top of the inning. Ruining Kirby's line, his chance to quality start, all that. You had Peralta struck out. It was called an automatic strike because he tried to call time twice. Dan Wilson was pretty upset with this. He was like, really, or saying that he didn't do it. I couldn't tell exactly what was going on, but it gave Dan Wilson a good chance to really stand up for his team, even in the midst of an 8-game winning streak. It's like, you got to give one back, but I mean, it was a 1-0 moment in my opinion, fighting for the little bits and not getting squeezed, showing fight in the moments where, you've been doing well, but still want to keep things intense. And I think that's the main stuff to look at here. Freddy Peralta is really, really good. 18 swinging strikes on 101 pitches, 93.2 mile an hour average exit velocity. So maybe he got a little bit lucky. 9 hard hits on 101 pitches, just allowing the 1 earned run on the JP homer in the first inning. 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. At the end of the day, the Mariners put up a really competitive outing against him, even though he was absolutely cooking. The 4-seam, 8 swinging strikes on 51 of those. You had 5 on 27 changeups and 5 on 21 sliders. So the changeup slider combo really doing the heavy lifting, getting to a decent strikeout number against the Mariners, who are really controlling the zone right now. They're making it hard for pitchers. Like with 18 swinging strikes, you would expect the Mariners would have struck out, 8-9 times today, but they keep it low because they've been taking long at bats. They still, even with, how good he is to get to a quality start, they forced him to throw, over 11 pitches every single inning. And then they forced him to get to 101 pitches to get that quality start against them. So the Mariners weren't an easy opponent today. And it feels like one of the most optimistic loss reactions I've done in a long time. I'm glad it's that way. I hope we can continue that going into Detroit. So the next time the Mariners pick up a baseball, it's going to be in Detroit. Going to have the travel day, probably rest day today, or actually probably getaway day today. That's why partly why the game is at 12:40 instead of 1:10. Spent it tomorrow in Detroit, pretty much recovering and resting. Then Friday, Mariners go in Detroit, and that's the next time I will likely talk to you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you had to cut a right-handed hitter off the Mariners. I mean, obviously, I said all I said, about Peralta and rough center being the decision. It's obviously Wisdom. Wisdom is the first one to go. But tell me, between Ref Snyder and Peralta, if you had to make that extremely tough roster decision today, who would you cut? DFA? Who would you keep? The get out of jail free card is that you can say, okay, well, Peralta has the options to the minors, which I'm pretty sure he does. I'm like 90% sure he does off the top of my head because it was a minor league contract they signed him to. But then Ref Snyder does not have the option, so you basically just have to roll with him for now. That might be the answer I would take, to be honest. But Peralta, again, how are you going to take him off the big league roster when he's hitting 275 with a 780 something OPS? That's where I almost draw the line. Even on as somebody who loves the Ref Snyder investment and still thinks it has a chance at working out in the later going. That being said, as long as you go 1-0 every pitch, stay stoic, give all glory to God. You can't lose. Even though the Mariners lost today, they still looked like a playoff baseball team. Put up kind of some good at bats, good fights, and even saw 137 pitches to the Mets scene, just 144 despite scoring all those runs. Only one walk today on the pitching side, so that's a good sign. 10 strikeouts, that's not terrible. And only 9 hard hits over the course of those 144 pitches, not the worst. Yeah, this game could have been closer. It wasn't. It is what it is. That's all in the the Mets actually outperformed their expected batting average, 341 to 297, while the Mariners underperformed the 229 to a tune of 194. So that kind of, I think, if I had to choose one story of the game, it's that batting average disparity between those two teams, and the fact that one is the XBA and then the batting average disparity, where it was completely lopsided in the Mets' favor, basically. Anyway, that's going to do it. Let's see. I usually don't make a video on the off days, but if I was going to make a video, let me know what you would want me to make a video about tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live and do a little bit of a Q&A or something like that. That being said, see you guys on Friday for sure, if not tomorrow. As long as you go 1-0 every pitch, stay stoic, and give all glory to God. You can't lose. I'll be back again then. Go M's.